Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the Vault Boy from Fallout. Since Fallout 4 has very recently been released, I decided it's probably time to pay a little homage to Fallout. If you have any more building related needs, feel free to not only check out the description below in which I will house all of my tutorial playlists, but if you want to check out the god system, I'll have loads and loads of other videos and stuff that I think that you guys might like a little bit better if you don't want to just check out each one of the individual playlists. But moving on, if you want to make the Vault Boy, here's what you're going to need. You will need some white stained clay and some black wool. Grab yourself some white wool, some cyan, and finally guys, grab yourself some yellow wool. And once you have each one of those materials right there, and once you've figured out what you want to make it, I'll be making it right here. You're going to want to kick this off with a row of 6 black wool coming directly up from the ground. That's 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You then want to take this top block, the 6th block, and do an up left diagonal from it. Then go up on top of that diagonal by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then do an up left diagonal. You then want to go up by 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go right by 2. 1, 2. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals. That's 1 and 2. Go right of that second bottom right diagonal by 1. Then go up on top of that diagonal by 13. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I realised that I said go on top of the diagonal. Obviously, I meant go on top of the block that we went from the diagonal with. If you guys can see how I mean, yeah, it didn't make much sense, did it? But you guys can see what I'm talking about. So from this 13th block anyway, you want to do an upright diagonal. Then go up on top of this diagonal by 7, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then do an up left diagonal. Then go up by 2, 1, 2. Then do an up left diagonal. And also guys, do an upright diagonal. We're going to be continuing from the up left diagonal first, but we'll be back with this upright diagonal later on. So from this up left diagonal guys, you want to go left by 13, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wonderful. What you then want to do guys, is you want to, from this 13th block, do an up left diagonal. And go left of it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you want to go down from this 4th block by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal. And go down by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do a bottom left diagonal. And go down by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal. And that's all you have to do coming down from that 4th block. So you know how we went down from that 4th block and we ended up with this little segue here? Well, what we now want to do guys is come all the way back up to this 4th block and from it do an up left diagonal. Then go up on top of it by 1. Then do 5 upper left diagonals, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go up on top of that 5th upper left diagonal by 2, 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal. Then go up on top of it by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal, and go left by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal, and go left by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal, and go down by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal, and go down by 2, 1, 2. Do a bottom right diagonal, and go down by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then go left by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, that's 1 and 2. Go down by 2, 1, 2. Do a bottom right diagonal, and go down by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom right diagonal, and go down by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then do 3 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now, you want to end up with a shape that should look like this, guys, and you might not recognize it now, but this is actually the Vault Boy's hand, and he's kind of just giving you a nice thumbs up. So, what we now have to do is we kind of have to backtrack on ourselves. So, we will be coming back down to this third bottom right diagonal, but for now, we want to return to this first bottom right diagonal, and we want to go right by 6, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then do an upright diagonal, and go up by 2, 1, 2. Then go left by 2, 1, 2. Do an up left diagonal, and then go left until you connect to the outline, like so. What you then want to do is return it back up to this block that we started going left from, and from this block do an upright diagonal, and go up by 1. Then do 3 up left diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. Go left of that third up left diagonal until you connect to the outline. You then want to return it back down to here, and from this second up left diagonal you want to do an upright diagonal, and go up by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal, and go left by 1. Then do an up left diagonal, and go left by 1. What you want to end up with, guys, in total for the hand should look a little bit like this, and those are just the fingers obviously wrapped around the hand in kind of like a fish shape. What you now want to do is return it back down to this third bottom right diagonal that we placed earlier, and from this third bottom right diagonal we now want to go right by 18, that's 1, 8, 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You then want to, from this 18th block, do an upright diagonal, and go right by 2, 1, 2. Then do 2 upright diagonals, that's 1, 2. Go down from that second upright diagonal by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You then want to do a bottom right diagonal, and from that diagonal you can actually go down, and if everything has went correctly, you should end up, let's zoom out a little faster, you should end up with a shape that should look exactly like this. And this is obviously the left hand side of the Vault Boy, and that is just him with his thumb up. I'd like to tell you that that's the hardest part of this, but unfortunately I'd be lying to you. Once you've reached this point right here, guys, this is what you want to do next. So can you remember earlier when we placed this kind of like upright diagonal out of the blue, doing nothing else? Well, now come back to this upright diagonal, and from this upright diagonal do 2 up left diagonals, that's 1, 2. Go up on top of that second up left diagonal by 1. Then do another up left diagonal, and go up by 1. Then do an up left diagonal, and go up by 9, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You then want to do an upright diagonal, and go up on top of it by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then do an up left diagonal, and go up by 2, 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal, and go up by 1. Then do an up left diagonal, and go up by 1. Do 2 upper right diagonals, 1, 2. Then 2 bottom right diagonals, 1, 2. Then do 3 upper right diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. Go right of that third upright diagonal by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You then want to do 3 upright diagonals, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then go right by 1. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, that's 1 and 2. Go right of that second bottom right diagonal by 1. Then do another bottom right diagonal, and go right by 1. Then do 6 bottom right diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then go down from that 6th bottom right diagonal by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal, and go down by 6, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then do a bottom left diagonal, followed by 4 up left diagonals, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go up on top of that fourth upper left diagonal by 2. 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal, and go up by 1. Then do an up left diagonal, and go left by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do 2 upper left diagonals, that's 1, 2. Go left of that second up left diagonal by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom left diagonal, and go left by 1. Then do an up left diagonal, and go left by 2, 1, 2. What you now want to do, guys, is do bottom left diagonals until you connect diagonally to the left hand side of the head. So you just want to eventually connect diagonally to the left hand side of the head like so. And what you want to do, guys, with the block that connects diagonally, you want to do a white stained clay directly underneath it. Then go right of that clay by 1 with your black. Then do an upright diagonal. Go right by 1 with your black, to give you this shape. What you now want to do is take this first black that we just placed right here, and going down from this black, do a single white stained clay. Then go down by 3 with your black. 1, 2, 3. Then do a row of 3 black next to your 3 black. Take the middle block in this right hand row of 3 and go right of it by 4 with your white stained clay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do a black wall. Continue going right with your white stained clay by 3. 1, 2, 3. Do 2 black wall. 1, 2. Then do a bottom right diagonal. Go right of that diagonal by 1 with your white stained clay. Then go up by 3 with your white stained clay. That's 1, 2, 3. Place a black wall on top. Then do 2 up left diagonals with your black. That's 1, 2. To give you this shape. What you now want to do is come to this center black wall block that we placed earlier, and from this black wall block you want to do a bottom left diagonal, and go down from it by 1. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, guys, so that'll be 1 and 2. Go down from that second bottom left diagonal by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal, and go right by 1. You then want to go down from that black wall by 2 with your white stained clay, so that's 1, 2. Then do another black. Go left of that black by 2, 1, 2. Then do an up left diagonal, and go left by 2, 1, 2. Do a bottom left diagonal. Then do 3 bottom right diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. And go to the right of that third bottom right diagonal by 6, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You then want to take the 3 bottom blocks in this row that we have right here and extend them down each by 1 with your white stained clay, that's 1, 2, 3. Then do a row of 3 black wool underneath those 3 white stained clay, like so. What you then want to do is come all the way to the right hand side of your row of 6 here, and from this 6th block do 3 upper right diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. Then go up by 1. Then do an up left diagonal, and go left by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Go left 1, then do a bottom left diagonal. And what you want to end up with should look a little bit like this, guys. So that is what you want to have. I know that actually looks really weird at the moment, but obviously it will look a lot better once the rest of the outline's in, plus once it's actually coloured in as well. That makes quite a difference. So once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do. You want to move all the way back over to here, where we have this kind of like dangling down single black wall. Well, from this black wall you want to do a bottom left diagonal. From this diagonal, not only do you want to go down by 1, but you want to go left 1. Then from that left block, do 2 up left diagonals. That's 1, 2. You then want to return it back down to this block that we placed going down 1, and you want to do a bottom left diagonal from it, followed by a bottom right diagonal. First, focusing on the bottom left diagonal, we want to go left 1, and then we want to do 2 upper left diagonals. So that's 1, 2. Once you've done that, you then want to return it to this bottom right diagonal, and from this bottom right diagonal go down by 2. 1, 2. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1, 2. From this second bottom left diagonal, go left by 1. Then do 3 bottom left diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. Go down from that third bottom left diagonal by 1. Go right 1, but also from that very same block do a bottom left diagonal. And go down by 1. Then do 3 bottom left diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. Go left of that third bottom left diagonal by 2, 1, 2. Then do an up left diagonal, followed by an up right diagonal. From the up left diagonal go left by 1, then do a bottom left diagonal. Go left by 1, then do an up left diagonal. Go left 1, then 2 upper left diagonals, that's 1 and 2. If everything went correctly, that second upper left diagonal should connect all the way back to where we first started off the head, and you just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this, which does look a little bit better than what we were working with, but still looks creepy. Once you've got that taken care of, guys, this is what you want to do next. So we now want to come all the way to here. Can you guys remember when we went right, but then we continue going down? Well, from this right hand block that we have right here, we want to do a bottom right diagonal and go right of it by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal and go right by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal, go right by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal and go right by 1. Then do a bottom right diagonal, go right of it by 1. And then do 8 bottom right diagonals, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You then want to take that 8th bottom right diagonal and go down by 1. Then do 2 bottom right diagonals, that's 1 and 2. Go down from that second bottom right diagonal by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do a bottom left diagonal and go down by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal and go down by 1. Do a bottom left diagonal, go down by 1. Do a bottom left diagonal, go down by 1. Do a bottom left diagonal, and go down by 1. What you then want to do is do 2 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go left of that second bottom left diagonal by 1. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, so that'll be 1 and 2. Go down by 1, then right 1, do 2 bottom right diagonals, that's 1 and 2, go right 1, and then up by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, to give you this shape. What you now want to do once you have finally crafted this shape is you want to come all the way down to here. This block right here, I'm sure that you guys can find the one. I wish that there was an easier way of describing the block, but there's not. Well, from this block, you want to do a bottom left diagonal and go left of it by 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then connect that 5th block all the way down to the ground, like so. And once you've connected it down to the ground, you then want to take that 5th block once more and do 2 upper left diagonals from it. So that's 1, 2. Go up on top of that second up left diagonal by 7, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You then want to do an upright diagonal, followed by 3 bottom right diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. Go right of that third bottom right diagonal by 2, 1, 2. If everything has connected together properly, you should end up with something that should look like this, and this is the Vault Boy's other hand. It's clenched in a fist as it is kind of poised on the side of his waist. Once you've got that taken care of, you now want to come all the way back down to, up to, not down to. You want to come all the way up to here, this block that we started doing the bottom right diagonals from before we connected to the hand, and from this block we want to go up by 1. Then do an upright diagonal and go up by 1. Do an upright diagonal, go up by 1. Then do an upright diagonal, go up by 1. Then do 2 upright diagonals, so that's 1, 2. Then do 2 up left diagonals, 1, 2. Go left by 3, 1, 2, 3. Take that third block that we just placed going left and go down from it by 1, but you also want to take that very same block and do an up left diagonal from it. Then go left by 1. Then do an up left diagonal. Then go left by 1. Then do an up left diagonal. You want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. You then want to take this block that we placed going down by 1 and we want to do a bottom left diagonal. And go down by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then do a bottom left diagonal. And go down by 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Go left by 1. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Go left by 2. 1, 2. Then do a bottom left diagonal. Go left by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do an up left diagonal. And go up by 18, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You then want to take this 18th block and do an upright diagonal. And go right by 2, 1, 2. Then do an upright diagonal. And go right by 1. Do an upright diagonal. And go right by 1. Do 2 upper right diagonals, that's 1 and 2. Go up on top of that second upright diagonal by 1. Then do an upright diagonal and go up until you connect all the way to the top of your Vault Boy. And you want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Don't worry guys, we're almost done. So that's just to show you, that's kind of the jacket part there. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. And like I said, we're very much almost done guys. So, where we were building ever so slightly earlier, where we went down by 4 and then we started going left, well, from this block that we started going left from, it shouldn't be too hard for you to find. You now want to take this block once more and go down from it by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, so that's 1 and 2. Go left of that second bottom left diagonal by 2. 1, 2. Then do a bottom left diagonal. And go left by 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then do an up left diagonal. And go left by 2. 1, 2. Do an up left diagonal. Go left by 1. Do an up left diagonal. Hopefully that last up left diagonal should connect you all the way back to the outline, very much back where we very first started, and what you'll want to end up with guys should look a little bit like this. And this is the outline for your Vault Boy, and this is where it now gets easy guys. So that's the outline for your Vault Boy. Once you've reached this point right here, here's what you have to do. You can see that kind of scarfy looking shape in the center of the Vault Boy, kind of looks like an anchor. We need to fill that in with yellow. The rest of the jacket and the legs need to be filled in with cyan. The hands and the face need to be filled in with white stained clay. The mouth, white wool. Hair, yellow wool. Once we've filled all of those things in, we will have completed our Vault Boy. It will take me quite a long time to fill this particular one in, and I don't really need to have this on the recording for you guys to progress and finish this for yourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to whisk away for just one moment. I'm going to come back and I'll show you guys the original version of this, and I'll show you how it looks, just so it saves me filling this thing in. Back in a moment guys. So this is the original version of the Vault Boy guys. As you can see, it's actually very simple to fill in. Middle bit yellow, clothes, cyan wool, hands, face, white stained clay, teeth, white wool, hair, yellow wool. Very simple. I'm sure that you guys won't have any issues in copying this onto your very own pixel art. And like I said, the only reason that I didn't want to do it on recording is because it'd take quite a while, and it's really unnecessary because it's very easy to see what colours you have to fill in where. Hopefully you guys like this, hopefully you've managed to make it, and if you've done both of those things guys, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, a favourite, a share. If you guys wouldn't mind, I would just vastly appreciate it. Feel free to check out the card system and the links below down in the description for my other various tutorial playlists and individual videos that I think that you guys might get a kick out of as well. The reason that I decided to make the Vault Boy not just like, oh no, the logo for the game was because, well, the Fallout logo, as you guys know, is a little non-existent, it's a little bit boring, so I figured the Vault Boy is a little bit more recognisable, a little bit more colourful, and I thought that you guys might like it. So, thank you very much for watching, like, favourite, share if you wouldn't mind, and I'll see you in the next video.